In the bitter cold of 1942, a city on the banks of the Volga River became the stage for the most brutal battle in human history. Stalingrad was not just another city, it was a symbol, a lifeline, and the place where over 2 million soldiers and civilians would meet their fate. This is the story of how one battle turned the tide of World War II and cost more lives than many entire wars. Imagine a city where every street is a battlefield, every building a fortress, and every breath could be your last. In the winter of 1942, on the banks of the Volga River, 2 million souls were caught in a storm of fire, steel, and ice. This was no ordinary battle. It was the moment when an empire's dream of conquest was shattered. This was Stalingrad, the city of no retreat, the graveyard of armies, and the turning point of World War II. For Adolf Hitler, Stalingrad was more than a strategic target. It carried the name of his greatest enemy, Joseph Stalin. To take it would be a symbolic victory. For the Soviets, losing it would mean losing their morale, their factories, and the gateway to the oil-rich Caucasus. Both sides knew whoever held Stalingrad would hold the future of the war. Operation Barbarossa had unleashed millions of German troops deep into Soviet territory. By mid-1942, the German Sixth Army, commanded by General Paulus, marched towards Stalingrad with confidence. Cities fell one by one as the German war machine seemed unstoppable, but Stalin ordered, "Not one step back." By late summer, German artillery rained fire on Stalingrad. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to rubble. Civilians hid in basements as the Luftwaffe bombed relentlessly. Yet in this destruction, the Soviets saw opportunity. Ruins turned into fortresses, every building a battleground, every street a front line. The fighting was unlike anything seen before. Soldiers fought room to room, sometimes on different floors of the same building. Germans on the ground level, Soviets above, both unaware of each other until grenades exploded through the floor. Civilians starved in the freezing ruins, trapped between two armies. For many, survival was only a matter of days. The Soviets became masters of urban warfare. Snipers like Vasily Zaitsev turned the ruins into hunting grounds, instilling fear in German troops. Stalin's order, "Not one step back," was enforced harshly. Retreat meant execution. Soviet soldiers knew they had only two choices: fight or die. As winter descended, the German soldiers found themselves unprepared. They lacked warm clothing, supplies, and reinforcements. The Volga froze, but Soviet supply lines kept trickling men and ammunition across the icy river. The city became a frozen hell, with temperatures dropping below -30 degrees. In November 1942, the Red Army launched Operation Uranus. Soviet forces struck not at the German Sixth Army directly, but at its weaker flanks held by Romanian and Italian troops. Within days, the Germans were surrounded. What was once a confident invasion turned into a deadly trap. Over 250,000 German soldiers were trapped inside Stalingrad. Hitler ordered them to hold their ground, promising supplies but the Luftwaffe could only deliver a fraction of what was needed. Hunger, frostbite, and disease spread rapidly. Soldiers ate their horses, their dogs, and sometimes even worse. Inside the pocket, German soldiers dug into the ruins, waiting for relief that never came. Soviet artillery pounded them day and night. Starving men fought with broken weapons, reduced to shadows of the once proud German army. Letters written by trapped soldiers spoke of despair, begging their families for forgiveness. By February 1943, the Sixth Army was finished. General Paulus surrendered, becoming the first German field marshal ever to be captured alive. Of the 250,000 who entered Stalingrad, fewer than 90,000 survived to surrender, and only about 5,000 would ever return home. The numbers were staggering. Over 2 million lives, soldiers and civilians, were lost in Stalingrad. Entire divisions were wiped out. Families vanished. The Volga River ran red with blood. It was a price almost too high to comprehend. The Battle of Stalingrad marked the turning point of World War II. The myth of Nazi invincibility was shattered. From that moment, the German army would retreat, step by step, until the Red Army marched into Berlin. Stalingrad became not just a victory, but a legend, a brutal reminder of human endurance, suffering, and the terrible cost of war. This was not just a battle, it was the breaking point of an empire. The ruins of Stalingrad still whisper the stories of those who fought, starved, and died in its streets. More than 2 million lives ended here, but their sacrifice changed the course of history forever.